So my dad grew up in New York City, Queens, New York, in the 1930s and early 40s. And I grew up hearing all about his experience as a kid in New York City, who was the son of a New York City police detective, who, for the purposes of simplicity for a child's stories, my grandfather caught gangsters, which I thought was exciting. But in a time where Irish Catholic families were accustomed to having lots of kids, my dad was one of four, and women did not work outside the home, to have one breadwinner who was a New York City policeman meant that there wasn't a lot to go around. My dad told me stories about how they couldn't afford to buy new shirts for him to wear to school, so he would wear his father's shirts that my grandmother had folded at the elbow and stitched so that they met the length of his arms. He told stories about how nobody in the neighborhood had a bicycle, but they would collect pieces and put a bicycle together. Somebody would bring a wheel, somebody would bring a body, but that was always a problem if your friend got mad and went home and took his wheel. There was no more bicycle. He told me stories about how he got beat up for going to a Catholic school. So when I think about how my dad empowered me, and that I grew up in a much more sheltered, I would say easier environment, the way he empowered me was by teaching me that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be the kid who doesn't have a bike. It's okay to be the kid who doesn't have a shirt that fits. And what matters is what you do with it. So when I would come home with my own stories from school about a kid in the class who wasn't popular or wasn't cool or wore the wrong clothes or said the wrong thing, my dad encouraged me to be that person's advocate and to stand up for them and to be their friend. And I always remembered that it was okay to be different. It was okay to be a boat rocker. It was okay to buck the tide, and it was okay not to conform. And when you're a kid and everything is about fitting in, that was a really valuable lesson for me, because ultimately we all have to go our own way. So thanks to my dad for teaching me that it's okay to be different.